Hey everybody, welcome back to Old World Legends, where we focus on growing the community. I'm your host Mike, and with me as always is Evan.
And this time I'm sixth place, Evan. So
Well,
not third place.
we have a very strong community, very talented players, and yes, Evan is alluding to the latest RTT that we just ran for August. This time, as we always do, we run an event with diligently every single month, except December. We take December off, and this time we were very fortunate to go to a new location. Part of our goals for 2025 is that we wanted to hit as much as SoCal or different areas as we could to support the various local gaming stores and communities. So this year we've been to San Diego a couple times. Of course, we're based in Orange County. We've been out to Riverside, great place there. This time we made sure to make our way up to LA at Geeky Teas and Games, and we had an awesome RTT. And believe it or not, a surprising legacy faction took top place. Can you believe that, Evan?
I can, especially because I think the ogres are gorgeous little hunks of man meat. So yeah.
Okay, that was both creepy and amazing. So let's dive into the list. Let's talk about our first place winner at the event. So topping it off at the top, one of our great players who's been there many times, Garrett, took the RTT down with an ogre list, going undefeated and scoring very, very well. Now, before Evan dives into the list, I want to put out we are using our Old World Legacy errata, our Old World Legends legacy errata. So we are different than other communities. We have our own legacy errata. The biggest difference, I think, between how we approach it versus other communities is we are much more conservative. Our approach is always what are the fewest tweaks we can make to make legacy factions playable, comparable. So I think the biggest difference for instance, do not go ahead and give Monstrous Infantry all the infantry parry and all those saves. We haven't done that. We feel that's too big of a change. If GW wants to do that, then God bless them. They may do that, and we will embrace that. But we did make a slight tweak to slightly buff the Leadbelchers, but only a little bit, not a ton. Other communities have buffed them significantly. But these couple tweaks, Garrett was able to put on a great performance. So Evan, let's dive in.
So first of all, he's got a tyrant on foot with a very, very good loadout. I think that the tenderizer is the best magic weapon in the game, potentially, other than maybe Monkey King's Wisdom or the Black Maul. But tenderizer is only 70 points, so you could still buy a word save for the character who's using it. So that's very, very good. Um,
Mhm.
and if people who don't know, it's basically just a better ogre blade. It's strength +2, AP3, multi wounds D3. So I mean, it's just more. Oh, and it gives you extra attack 1 as well. So this tyrant has 6 attacks with strength 7, AP3, and the AP3 is a huge deal because a lot of the things you want to kill
It is.
have a 3+ armor save. The difference between dropping it by 2 and dropping by 3 is dramatic because it halves the chance that they pass that remaining armor save they still have left, right?
Yep.
And he's 6 to wound. He still has armor bane from being just an ogre, right?
Yep.
And then the fact that you can fit
It's
that,
really good.
yeah, the fact that you can still fit that with Talisman, great. Now, Garrett and I diverge in how we play ogres. That he sticks his tyrant and his slaughtermaster in the big iron gut unit, walks that up the table. Have never truly tried doing this. I know that it's a very common build, but I didn't find that all that exciting. So I usually take mine on the Thunder Tusk. The Slaughtermaster, very interesting because I've been very much bad talking the Slaughtermaster, and he did take it, and he took Grut's Sickle, so that gives you the extra chance to cast. But on the other hand, you don't get to have the access to the ability to know, like, have Lore Familiar, so you don't know what spells you're going to get. But again, I think that Miasma Barrage doesn't go off very often anymore, and if you have, Glittering Robe, and there's plenty of things in Illusion that are useful for the ogres. And this Slaughtermaster, he's going to be Strength 5 with his sword, so if he does get Doppelganger off, it is quite useful. And if he doesn't get Doppelganger, he still has 5 attacks with the Slaughtermaster with the Sword of Might, or 4, however many it is. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and then we've got in the core, so he's got a lot of units of basically 4 ogres and in different versions. We've got 4 ogre bulls here with the Iron Fist. So the way we ruled it is that you can basically either use your Iron Fist to parry, which gives you that 4-up armor save, but you only get 3 attacks, or you can use it as like an additional hand weapon. So it's almost like you have infantry, additional hand weapon, and a shield, where you would get to pick either one. That's kind of how it works. And I think that makes Ogre Bulls a really exciting and interesting unit to use as either kind of a bit more of a defensive bunker, or you could just use them to run around and chase off units, or you can use them to get in the way, and they have a halfway decent save. So that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And we've got Ironguts. The trick here is we have Fistful of Laurels for being able to have that one-use only reroll on our break test, which is very useful when you don't bring the Battle Standard Bearer. So with the Ogre army here, we've got reroll to our break chest for if you ever just accidentally just say, "Uh-oh, crap, I rolled a 10," which happens relatively all the time to me.
Hmm.
And he's got Cannibal Totem, which hilariously, because of the way regen works now, is going to let him regen the wounds from Grut's Sickle. So whenever he tries to remove wounds from an ogre, he can try to see if he just doesn't, which is funny.
Yeah.
But
Now,
okay,
again, that's not something that we specifically are focused on, but that is
yeah,
again with the 1.5 update. This is one of those. GW was not clear about it because they removed the statements where they said, "Hey, if you just lose a wound, you can't." Previously in an FAQ, they said you can't regen, you can't use a ward save, and then they just deleted that. They just stealth removed that from the 1.5 update, and they didn't tell us why they removed it. They didn't tell us what they were thinking, so forth and so on. So different communities have ruled that in different ways, different interpretations. The way we have ruled it for right now, not having any more input from GW, is that because they intentionally had it and then they intentionally removed it, our belief is that rules as intended, they've removed it so that they intend you to use it that way. Not everybody will agree with that, but that's how we're playing it, just for clarity for those watching the video.
yeah, and so we have 4 Mournfang. I think Mournfang are awesome, especially if the enemy does have lots of infantry on the table. Bull Standard lets you reroll those impact hits. So if this unit hits any block of infantry, it just wow.
Melts. Hmm.
Yeah, I got Mournfang into some goblins once. I think they killed 17. It was great.
Oh, they're absolutely brutal. But in
Yeah,
Morphings, they hit like a truck, but they're also only T4, right? So
yeah.
again, and they don't have a 2-up armor save, so they have a lot of wounds. But they're definitely more susceptible to, you get off like itchy nuisance or something on them, or you just get enough shots into them or catapults, they'll melt too if you hit them with the right thing. But
Yeah.
boy, do they hit like trucks.
I would personally rather see 2 units of 2, especially with the build he's going for here, where he's got a lot of threats just running up the table. Because the problem with the 4
Interesting.
Mournfang is their weapon skill 3. So if you get a weapon
Yeah.
skill 7 guy to just sit in front of them, like for example a Black Orc on a Wyvern or a Prince on a Star Dragon, they can't do crap to that. They will do nothing at all. And if you have 2 units of 2, they can be just as good at murdering infantry, but they can just not be as easily to just, oh, you stood in front of me and now I can't do anything, right? But
Yeah.
anyway, then he's got
It's
4
not really
Yetis.
doing everything. For
Yeah,
those of you who aren't as familiar, basically Evan's talking about if your opponent is more than double your weapon skill. So often, most of in the game, weapon skill 3 things, the characters in the game will have weapon skill 7. And the delta in dice effectiveness from needing 4s to hit to 5s to hit is huge, and how few you're going to get a lot less hits that are going to connect. So it
yeah.
makes a big difference.
Playing as elves, I dream about times where I can try to get my enemy to hit me on 5s. For example, with my Befuddlement of Mischiefs, if I put that on a unit, a lot of my units have weapon skill 4 or 5. So if I just lower your weapon skill from 3 to 2 with Befuddlement of Mischiefs, now you hit a lot of my crap on 5s, even just my like Wildwood Rangers. So that's the
Makes a
kind
big
of thing.
difference.
Yeah, that'd be a big problem. So he's got 4 Yetis. I know he really likes the Yetis. So Yetis are really wonky because they have Swift Stride and they've got um, relatively decent weapons like additional hand weapon with AP1 or something like that. So they're infantry with Swift Stride, so they have a good charge range that you can't countercharge against, which is funny. And they do have Vanguard, so you can kind of get up the table there quickly as well. And just so you know, one of the reasons why he's got Yetis and Leadbelchers here is that Old World Legends, we think it's completely and utterly ridiculous for infantry units that are not core to just not be able to like hold the strategic location. That just seems like a massive oversight from GW that they want it to be like rank and file regular troops can go up there and just hold the objective. So Garrett was leaning into that a little bit by bringing the Leadbelchers and the Yetis, which I mean they're not really the best units in special, but because they're infantry, they can go up and grab the strategic location, and that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And also, guess what? The Leadbelchers, because the main thing we gave them was quick shots. They could still move and shoot. They're pretty good at shooting at lanterns because they've got a strength 5, AP2, multi wound 2 shot. So they're kind of like a Bo
Mhm.
Shabti without the whole I ignore any penalties to hit thing.
Yep.
So I don't hate that at all. It's just, and then worst case scenario, they're just an ogre bowl, right? They have 3 attacks,
Yeah.
strength 4, they can just bash things. So yeah.
Still pretty decent. And that's why you see he's taking these in units of 4 versus units of 3, because if you took 3, you'd only have unit strength 9. So
Ugh.
when you need unit strength 10, you're not going to be enough, which is why he's taking 4. So on the downside, right, if you kill just one of them, if you have any magic missiles, ballistic skill, cannon, or something, you take one of them off the board, they can't score anymore. So he's trying to be as points efficient as he can be for being able to tag those objectives, but it also makes him fairly vulnerable to not being able to tag the objective.
Right.
But it is interesting to see how the meta is evolving.
Right, but he does have, instead of having more guys in one unit, he has 5 units that can score. So they're all at least 4 models. And that's why you probably see the 4th Ogre Bull instead of just 3, because then they would be at unit strength. And again, that's just a Monster Pursuit downside. But hey, he won the tournament with the Monster Pursuit downside. So maybe there are just ways around that, because I was really poo-pooing it a little while ago, but I think this is pretty good.
Also, Garrett's also a very, very good player. So
Yeah,
congratulations,
absolutely.
Garrett. Well done on your victory, sir. Very exciting to see Ogres do so well. Hopefully, we will inspire other Ogre players and see more of them soon. All right, so let's move on to second place. Very different list, isn't it?
Yeah, so second place is Leo. He's a very, very good player who hasn't podiumed recently because he's been playing Skaven until he picked up Warriors Chaos. He's still painting them up. He's a very slow, methodical painter, so he wants everything to get really, really nice. But
Awesome
been playing
painter.
them in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
So Leo has basically decided that, hey, I really like having 2 Grey Seers in a big unit of Stormvermin, but you know what's better than that? Just having a bunch of Chaos Wizards in a big unit of Chaos Warriors, because they're just tougher. They only cost a couple more points each, and you could just have the Tzeentch spell abilities and just use what do you call it, Demonology, to fly around the table and stuff with just a little bit of a tougher unit, right? Again, heavy armor, halberd, shield is an amazing combo, because you can every single turn decide, do I need to parry for a 4-up armor save? Or, I'm sorry, 3-up armor save, right? Wow, okay.
Yep.
Or I can charge in there and get my AP2 attacks. And so every single turn,
But
you
you want
can
to
say,
hit harder. Yeah.
which one do I want to do? Champion taking Brazen Collar, so you're AP2 already. Or you're a Magic Resistance 2, amazing. In the meantime, you've got, I counted, up to 6 magic missiles. So we've got a Warpfire Dragon with the summoning. We've got Exalted Sorcerer number 1 here. He's got Dark Magic, so he can take Doom Bolt if he wants to, or you can just take Blue Fire. Probably depends on whether you're fighting Night Goblins and stuff. Because I still argue that Doom Bolt is totally fine against the right opponent. We have a second Tzeentch Wizard. This guy has 3 spells and he has Battle Magic, so we roll to see if we get another Fireball. So that's the potential 6th Magic Missile if he rolls it, and otherwise he just has Blue Fire. And this guy has Gwynmar of Ogvald, which is a summoning with a power level 2 item, I'm pretty sure. And so he had that in his list recently, and he also has so you can take the summoning twice on this guy.
Yep. And at the same time, it's just a different version, a different take on the Wizard Bunker we saw from before. Very effective, very good player. At the same time, he still suffers from if you tag it with the right thing, all of a sudden those magic missiles aren't going anywhere from that unit. But it is, again, it's a Chaos Warrior unit that is tooled up. It is definitely killable, but they are a lot tougher than the average infantry out there. So it's a pretty durable brick.
Yeah, I would just say I would love to see you get the enchanting aura on one of these dudes, so that anyone who tries to charge the Chaos Warriors have strikes last. That would just be busted beyond belief. I don't know if he has the points for that, but I just think that enchanting aura, people are always sticking it on your Chaos Dragon. I think if you put it on your infantry brick, it does more for that unit than it would for the dragon, if that makes sense. Okay. Icon of Darkness, by the way, is a banner that just -1 hit from shooting. So all of those dragon fire bombs are just hitting on 5s. That's pretty good.
Yeah, great versus Cathay. Not going to help you versus a cannon or a stone thrower, but great versus ballistic skill shooting.
Yeah, and I was playing Wood Elf, so I had 75 arrows, so it would help there too. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right,
he has 2 things. He has Diabolic Splendor and Icon of Darkness. You stack those together, they're -2 to hit from any ballistic skill shooting. That becomes a big problem once you have both of those.
Yeah, good combo.
So we've got Marauder Horsemen. These guys are pretty much just, I'm going to go cap some objectives. That's fine. Chaos Knights, same thing. I know that he's probably mostly just using them to do that, or destroy baggage trains, or he can threaten to flank charge you. Or he has a champion in there so the dragon doesn't get challenged out. You kind of send them in together, right? Yeah, and then a Warpfire Dragon. Look, a Warpfire Dragon is a dragon. It's still toughness 6 wounds with usually triple saves. It's a bit of a problem. I actually think this guy is wow, it is hard to deal with. And so just when you get to have two dragons and one of them isn't your character points, I think this is a very, very tuned list. Again, I just mentioned a couple things that I would love to see him try out. And he's only been playing Wars of Chaos for like, I don't know, a month, and he's already in second place. So he could be winning very soon.
Yep, strong list. Great performance, Leo. Excited. Well done on winning those games. Excited to see where you go with this list. I expect it will evolve in the coming months, but I'm also more excited to see you finish painting it because the dragon you were working on already looks gorgeous. So
Yeah.
keep going, sir.
Okay, so we have Andrew. He got third place with Tomb King's Mortuary Cult. He was on the top table playing against Garrett for the cup. So I do like to mention that because I always feel bad if someone gets to that last table and then they lose, and then you're like, you go to like fifth place, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
But he got to third place. That's great.
Yep.
We got two high priests. One elementalism with lore familiar. Okay, so probably like Plague of Rust, Wind Blast, that kind of stuff. Pretty good. TMP. I mean, even with +3 to cast, I would still go for it because, again, a lot of people are like, magic sucks. I'm not gonna take any wizards. Okay, but then when other people don't have any dispel, then all your spells go off all the time. Also, there's this.
No,
thing
magic's still great.
There's this thing called a power scroll that you can just buy. And
no,
Andrew
magic's
didn't,
still
but
really, really good.
he would be able to fit 3 of them on this guy if he wanted to, right? Because he's still
If you wanted to.
All right, the other one is on a steed, another elementalism. So we've got some more spells to roll there, and a ruby ring. So we've got some extra magic missiles there.
Yep.
Curious that we don't see the illusion because very often we see illusion. Oh, we see level 1. Okay.
No, he's got illusion on level 1. Yep.
Yeah, but normally you see level 3 lore familiar illusion. And okay, if this guy was level 3 lore familiar illusion with 3 power scrolls, you'd be owning the tabletop. But Andrew does not play just purely to win. He's what I like to call a Renaissance man. He's got a gorgeous army. He brings something that looks really cool, fun to play against. That's always
Love
good.
it.
We've got skeleton archers in a skirmish, so we just have horse archers running around. Nice wizard bunker, love that. Skeleton skirmishers as well, pretty much same thing. Ambush, so you could just have these guys be like, cool, we showed up, we grabbed your baggage train. What are you going to do now?
Yep.
60-point unit to probably eventually be able to just get 250. A lot of people don't have the tech necessary to defend a baggage train, and even if they did, the unit to defend it's going to cost more than this many points, right?
Yep, totally true.
And we have a big unit of skeleton warriors, 35, fantastic. Pretty cheap. We got a lodestone. That's pretty cool. I don't know what the Mirage Banner does, but I'm imagining it might be good versus shooting because I know a lot of people are very excited to not get Dragon Firebombed to death.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I have PTSD from all my gore dying.
But big brick though, and I think the reason why he's got the huge brick right is again because of the resurrection. So it is, you could chew through 20 in a turn. With a lot of armies have plenty of options and ways to chew through 20. Chewing through 35 is really hard to do, almost impossible in a single turn. Not impossible, but just really, really, really hard to do. So he's just making sure whatever, doesn't matter how hard you hit that thing, it's not going to get wiped out in a single turn. He's going to have an opportunity to resurrect them, at least for one turn.
Yeah, you say that, Mike. Every single army I build can beat that, no problem. For example, my Wildwood Rangers, 2 attacks each, hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s with their glaives, and I usually have the Fury of Cain spell to give them a 3rd attack.
It's all theory crafting. Once you put the army on the table and he has his
and I want to play
and everything else facing you down.
Yeah, I haven't played
Andrew in a while.
Mike. You have to pair us up next time. We would talk
about it. Okay, well, you're allowed to do a grudge match at the beginning of the RTT if you both. I could start announcing that to remind people.
I would love that.
Okay, he has to accept it though. He might say he doesn't want to play.
I was driving by him on my way out of the parking lot. He wants to play me because we haven't played in like a year and a half.
Okay.
So we would love to play.
Okay, well, let's make it happen.
And then he's got the Bow Shabti. Look, they're 49 points for a bolt thrower that you can heal, and it's like pretty good in combat.
Great. I love them, and the models are really cool too.
My only thing is I just wish that Treekin had bows because that'd be freaking fantastic.
Yeah, well,
I just want other units to have the same thing. They're very cool.
Maybe in the future.
I know, right? So we have a Necrosphinx and then 2 more Necrosphinxes.
Love it. Yep, and they look beautiful. they look beautiful. So that's like, and he's got a Casket of Souls, and he's got 2 Tomb Scorpions. This is a very well-rounded list that has magic, it has melee, it has shooting, it has monsters. It's got a little bit of everything.
I think three behemoths is not well rounded, but I think it's very, very good. I like it a lot. Necrosphinx is just slap, man.
Yeah, but at the same time, they almost all die in almost all these games too. So
Really?
yes, they're very good. Oh yeah, they die all the time. Again, it's like the 5-up regen. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but you're not going to make all those saves. Every army has plenty of things that can take them down. I think what makes the Necrosphinx so exciting and why I love seeing them on the table is because they have their fly ability. So
Yeah,
often the
yeah.
behemoths by themselves or on the ground are very slow, but they're fairly fast. But they still suffer from being in close order, right? So they don't have the widest angles. It's still harder for them to get the charges up. Uh, People have no problem killing them. That being said, it's a great list, and Andrew's doing very well with it.
Yeah.
He took a break for a while, but like you said, he really is truly one of our community's best Renaissance mans, and a great performance once again.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's only been 20 minutes, so we're gonna do a quick little jump through of what I decided to play.
Oh, Evan's pulling an audible.
I'm pulling an
Okay, here we
audible.
go.
Um, so this is the war host of Tier Sith, which is one of the I'm still
Well,
learning
tell
Wood Elf
people what
lore.
place you were
Okay.
in. Remind them that first.
Yeah, so I'm playing Wood Elves. This was a Grand
Okay.
Army list. So we
All right.
had Tiernan, Lord of the Ashen Hall, because that's where my faction's from. He's my very disappointing Glade Lord. I tried, man. I tried. Glade Lord on Stag is just, a Baron on Royal Pegasus. He's just that who can't fly, and he's worse. So I'm not doing it, man. It's not doing it for me. Um, I tried, we got Armor of Destiny. So once you have that, you have a 2+ armor save because you have, heavy armor, shield, and armored hide 2. So you have a 2-up and a 4-up
Mhm.
ward save. But then you only have 30
Mhm.
points left. So I tried bringing a giant blade, and wow, was that a bad idea? That was terrible.
Mm.
So
Why?
because everything in the game has armor and everyone seems to just roll their saves, so I just never did any damage except to the Slayer guy. I did a lot of multi wound 2 damage to a Doomseeker that was charging me before it got to attack me.
Mhm.
That was funny.
I believe you.
But I didn't need help fighting those things. I was already shooting them all to death anyway.
Yep.
Aspect of the Bear. Really exciting that you get to make him Strength 5, Toughness 5.
Hmm.
So what? Anyway, I realized also this guy is also just a worse Demon Prince because the Demon Prince can fly and has kind of similar stats, but can be a general if he wants to, and still has a lot of points for items. So the Demon Prince is just cooler than him. So I just don't want to play him. Next thing is Tree Man. Tree Man's coming up soon.
Okay.
My Wizard, on the other hand, Morrigan, is amazing. So high magic, right? Oaken Stave. A lot of people call it the Broken Stave. It basically just gives you a Dispel scroll every single time you Dispel. So you roll 3d6, pick the 2 highest. And as long as you're within 3 inches of wood, you get to do that. And you also have 3-inch further Dispel range. So I have 27-inch Dispel, which is unbelievably good.
Super powerful.
2 power scrolls and high magic because I think when you're playing elves, at least for me, high magic is very, very useful. It's just a big toolbox of tools. Being able to use Walk Between Worlds to say, well, now your big unit of ogres doesn't want to charge me anymore because you do no damage and I kill you. So
Hmm.
that's unbelievably game changing. I have Response to Luminescence on there. It never did anything. It was just to give the unit she joins magical attacks. And I have Scout Kindred. So for 15 points, she gets to Scout. I usually put her in the unit of Deepwood Scouts to start off the game, and then I regret it as soon as they get shot to death because they're too close to the enemy. But I like the option of being closer so I can dispel before you just, like while you're, to make my range further because I can start further up, right?
Hmm.
Then we had a captain here. So this guy was pretty good. So we have kind of double save from Talisman Protection, Meteoric Iron. So we have 5 up, 5 up there. Now, he's
Hmm.
got Befuddlement Mischiefs. I did not put this on the Glade Lord. I put it on him instead because he goes in the unit of Wildwood Rangers, and then anyone who touches them, that one unit is -1 weapon skill and initiative. And so a lot of the time, for example, right, any ogres, their weapon skill 3, I would make them weapon skill 2, and they would hit me on 5s because of that, right?
Hmm.
The -1 initiative would often make the person who just charged me attack after me. So Befuddlement Mischiefs is less good than the whole Enchanting Aura thing I was talking about earlier, and it's but still really useful if I stick it on that unit. And then Eternal Kindred, as long as you're on foot, you get to have this. Him and his unit reroll ones to hit. So he just gives
Okay.
those Wildwood Rangers reroll ones to hit. Now, they were only in combat once, but it was pretty useful. And then, he's also just a BSB, which also didn't matter at all. So again, if I was doing this over again, I probably would just drop the Lord and maybe make this guy my general and just have him not have a BSB because I never really needed to reroll break test. In core, I don't want to play the kind of way where you just have like nothing but skirmishers. So I've got 14 Glade Guard. They've got Arcane Bodkins for the AP2 arrows, and we have the banner that gives you ignores cover. So I've got 14 guys, a lot of shots, very long range, and no cover. So as long as I could see some of you, I could fire without those really annoying penalties to hit. So a lot of the time, they're just like 14 shots, 4+ to hit, because I had a hill in my deployment zone in 2 games. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, 2 really small units of Glade Guard, just 5 shots for 65 points. They can also just kind of run in the way to try to slow down the enemy from charging the bigger units. They're fine. They're also good for just kind of slowing down deployment, so I can wait to see where I want to put something else. Then I had 8 Deepwood Scouts. They have Arcane Bodkins, but to be fair, they kind of like want to move and shoot every turn, so I might switch to True Flight or something. I don't know. And then I had Glade Riders. Now, they already had True Flight because I do just move and shoot every single time. And a lot of the time, I'm just shooting at someone who doesn't have armor anyway, so I don't know if I need the Arcane Bodkins, right? So moving and shoot would be good. These guys also, they can go destroy the baggage train. They can control the objectives in the middle. You'd be surprised, Mike, how many people play with either no wizards or no ballistic skill-based shooting at all. Like, they don't bring any. So my Glade Riders can just walk up next to the big Slayer horde, and I can grab the objective, and if they charge me, I can just flee. But in the meantime, I'm safe. And I stay able to score all game long.
I mean, the lack of ballistic skill shooting is not a surprise. That's been kind of a staple for a while, but I think because it just, for most armies, it's just not effective or worth taking. So people don't bother taking any of it. I think the newer thing is we are seeing more and more lists now where people no longer feel they have to take a level 4 wizard to dispel, and they could find other ways to get magic resistance, whether they're through magic items, they're through character buffs, they're from the army just does it, which is great. We're starting to see those lists we never saw before, and so yeah, I definitely saw a few of those at the event this week. I think we'll see something more of that going forward as well. That they're because they can. It is exciting to see the variety. But to your point, if you are casting spells that don't target units, hey, you're going to get a lot more of them off now.
So high magic has one spell that targets an enemy unit. Like, all of my spells are just, I target my own guys, and including, for example, I have Drain Magic, and I cast that on myself, and then it makes you harder to cast your spells. So in my last game against a Magic Missile spam list, Drain Magic was very useful.
Huge versus a Magic Missile list, yeah.
Yeah. So Sisters of the Thorn, I think they're still plenty good. Now, maybe that's just because I kept rolling Earthen Ramparts on them, but I roll Elementalism, and I have 5 ladies who can run forward, throw javelins at people. They can fire and flee. They can screen. They also have leadership 9 and then 10 to rally with a musician. And whatever the hell spell I get, it's fine. Now, if I got my way, it would usually be Wind Blast. But hey, whatever I get, it's usually pretty good. Even Storm Call can be pretty useful for lowering the enemy's movement or initiative. There was one game where I was playing against a friend of mine where I had Storm Call on a unit of Bloodletters, and then they failed their Impetuous and had to charge me. And because of that 1 point of initiative, my Wildwood Ranger swung first and killed 16 of them. So that was hilarious. So, and they're like 140 points. So I'm actually even debating just bringing more in a single unit, but we'll see. And then finally, I think this is basically the whole thing that makes my army work. I've got Wildwood Rangers, and if I have Walk Between Worlds on them, no one in the universe wants to charge me. If I don't, and I just have Earthen Ramparts, half the game doesn't want to charge me. But basically, this is a big stone wall that can either threaten to fight you, or is so durable, or not durable, does so much damage that you don't want to fight them, right? Mm-hmm. Or they're just immune to your damage, right? So like basically, I have a big shield that I'm protecting myself with, which, when I play High Elves, for example, I usually have to use my Star Dragon as my shield. I stick it in front of the enemy, Ironguts, for example, something like that, but in the meantime, it's these guys. And if this Wildwood Ranger unit fought Garrett's Ironguts, all the regular Ironguts would hit them on 5s, and I'd hit him on 2s. And I'd swing before them. With 2 attacks that do 2 damage each. Now, maybe the characters would be a bit of a problem, but what we would, have to see, especially, sticking those characters in there. But regular Ironguts would just get absolutely mauled. This unit is built to kill Dragon Ogres. I think if Dragon Ogres charge the front of them, I kill all the Dragon Ogres before they get to swing. If there's like 3 or 4 of them.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it. We had a really good RTT yesterday. I learned a lot about my army. This was only like my 4th, 5th game playing Wood Elves. It was super interesting. I'm addicted as hell to playing Wood Elves, and I think that we're seeing really interesting shifts in the meta, and I'm really happy that we're getting Legacy armies getting to be, up in the top. We've seen at least one. We see Demons right here, got it to 5th place, so that's fantastic.
Yep. All right. Well, congratulations to our winners once again. Thanks for coming out. Next month, we're going to be hosting our first doubles event.
Yes.
So that will be really excited to share more with that as we get there and to go through that list. I promise we will talk about that more than 20 minutes. Evan, any last closing words, sir?
Just that everyone out there can stay legendary, and you can find their Discord link in our description. You can come join us there and chat to us about your list or what's going on.
All right. See y'all next time. Bye.